Parents, does your year 11 or 12 studying standard math have so many gaps from their previous years that they're struggling to keep up now? If so, give me 5 minutes and I'll show you the step-by-step process they need to follow in order to refill those gaps without just mindlessly flicking through year 8 and year 9 textbooks, right? So for those of you who don't know me yet, my name's Andrew Malcolm. I'm the founder and creator of ACM Tuition. And in 2019, I should say, I failed math. And then in 2020, I topped New South Wales for standard mathematics. Since then, I've been helping hundreds of students score a band 6 so that they can get into their dream university degree. And in every video I post, I give you guys one actionable tip to help your team score a band 6 in standard mathematics. So with all that out of the way, right, what you're probably thinking is that, or your team's probably thinking is that in order to fill those gaps, I need to go and I need to revise this whole year 8 or year 9 textbook to just fill these gaps, right? And, they think maybe I have to do it for year 10 as well, maybe year 9, right? And it's all stems from maybe a teacher saying, hey, you're behind, you need to review the textbook. Or you're behind, you need to review the basics, right? And so now they've, because they don't want to go through all of that study and go through the whole textbook, they just gotten more and more behind. And now they're probably thinking that they'll never catch up because I just don't know anything, right? And so here's the system I built for one of my students. Let's just call them Sarah, right? That's not their name, right? But for confidentiality, right? Let's call them Sarah, right? She had so many gaps, right? She moved schools a lot when she was younger. She went from school to school. The teachers changed. She got sick a lot, so she had to miss school. And then, she didn't like going to school as well, right? So when she came into us, she was sitting at about 30%. And well, I laugh at this now, but she was in a tricky spot, right? This is the exact process we did with her, right? For those of you who've been watching my content for a while, you know about clarity, application, optimization, right? We started with the clarity, right? Teach them just enough so that they can target the HSC question, right? All the basics, all the formulas, and that, right? But the thing was, because Sarah was behind in a lot of the basic content, right? We didn't just chuck her a year 8 textbook, right? We taught her how to do each thing as it came up, right? So let's say she was struggling with this algebra concept. We would teach it when we need to, right? You don't want to just mindlessly go through the full textbook and hope for the best, right? You want to, for example, I'm a third year physiotherapy student, or was a third year physiotherapy student, right? When we want a patient to walk again, we're not going to get them to just stay in the gym, right? And do weights. We want them to do something that's functional, right? And that works for them, right? And so the same is the same with math, right? If we're just getting them to just revise content for the sake of revising content, it's not going to stick. They're not going to, find that click of where it relates to their new content. So that's what we started with, teaching the content when we need to, right? To fill in those gaps. After we went from there, we went to the application stage, right? This is applying that base level of knowledge to the HSC questions so that they can, target them, right? And this is the same thing, right? When there were gaps in the knowledge, we'll plug them, right? Fill in the gaps and then, get Sarah up to speed. The last part was optimization, right? And, for those of you who see my videos, this is about, structuring your habits to making sure that you're getting the best mark possible, right? So instead of just getting Sarah to do 4 hours of math every night of year 8, year 9 maths, right? We got her to do 30 minutes a day, right? And structured so that she would be revising content when she needed to as well, right? It wasn't just mindlessly like going through random textbooks and everything like that, right? But that's the 3-step process we used to help her go from, she was sitting at 30%, and then so amazing she got up to 95% in a last test, right? Which was really, really good, right? And so look, that's the process you need to follow, right? Fix it when you need to, right? And if you need more help or need any guidance on this, just let me know, send me a DM and I'll get back to you.